Life unfolds as a tapestry of routines, repeated gestures, dawns, and dusks that follow one another in a predictable rhythm. Yet, beneath the seeming monotony of ordinary days, there pulses a vibrational reality far more intricate and subtle, an energetic field where the extraordinary patiently awaits its moment to emerge. What we call God's sudden moment is not a random occurrence or an arbitrary divine act, but a perfect synchronicity between the state of our consciousness and the universe's capacity to resonate with our frequency. It is the moment when inner preparation aligns with outer opportunity, when patience meets the miracle and the invisible bursts into the visible. Our unseen patterns of thought and emotion, often subconscious, are constantly shaping this reality, creating the conditions for these sudden moments to occur or, paradoxically, to be overlooked. The ancestral memory of our true capacity for co-creation echoes in the depths of our being, awaiting the awakening of consciousness to be fully recognized. The key to being prepared does not lie in anxiously anticipating a grand event, but in tuning our own inner instrument. The pineal gland, that inner eye so revered in mystical traditions, serves as an antenna, capturing the subtle frequencies that herald the arrival of a sudden moment. When this gland is activated and cleansed of the impurities of modern life, whether physical or energetic, our intuition sharpens, and the language of the unconscious becomes clearer. This is not about passive expectation, but an active vigilance of the soul, a keen listening to the whispers of the divine amidst the noise of daily life. The collective unconscious holds the archetypes of blessing and transformation, and when we align with these primordial energies, we open the door for the unexpected to manifest in our lives. It is the understanding that the divine does not dwell only in grand temples or solemn moments, but is intricately woven into the fabric of each day, waiting to be recognized in its simplicity and depth. However, for this reception to be clear, it is essential to purify the inner terrain. Unprocessed emotional traumas and accumulated resentments act as blocks, distorting our frequency and hindering the free flow of universal energy. The inner shadow, if not acknowledged and integrated, projects itself onto reality, creating cycles of repetition and preventing the manifestation of a positive sudden moment. Spiritual healing is not a one-time event, but an ongoing process of self-awareness and liberation, allowing us to dissolve these energetic knots and restore the fullness of our being. When we commit to this cleansing, our vibration rises, and the forgotten spiritual codes etched in our DNA become accessible, revealing the innate power of co-creation we possess. It is a return to our purest essence, a reconnection with our ability to attune to parallel realities where our desires are already a manifested truth. In this context, prayer transcends mere supplication. It becomes a state of readiness, an attitude of surrender and trust, a silent dialogue with the source of all that exists. It is a fine-tuning, an alignment of heart, mind, and spirit, preparing the ground for the blossoming of the unexpected. This is not the prayer of one who pleads for a miracle, but of one who recognizes that the miracle already resides in their own existence and is on the verge of manifesting. This continuous prayer, a vibration of gratitude and certainty, creates the energetic field necessary to attract the synchronicities that culminate in the divine sudden moment. Awakening to this truth frees us from the anxiety of the future and anchors us in the potency of the present moment, where all possibilities coexist and await our permission to materialize on a day that, to most, would seem ordinary. Life, in its intrinsic wisdom, does not manifest only in grandiose, cinematic moments, but weaves its magic in the interstices of the everyday. The sudden moment of God is, in truth, a revelation of our own capacity to perceive and co-create, a synchronicity that emerges from the harmony between our inner state and external opportunities. We are constantly immersed in a vast and intelligent energetic field, where all possibilities coexist in parallel realities. Our thoughts, emotions, and beliefs are the catalysts that attract and materialize one of these infinite realities into our present experience. Often, we are so entangled in the invisible patterns of our mind, in expectations and conditioning, that we fail to recognize the arrival of the unexpected, even when it presents itself subtly, disguised in the simplicity of an ordinary day. To perceive these moments, activating the pineal gland is crucial, as it functions as a portal to intuition and extrasensory perception. It allows us to go beyond the obvious, decipher the language of the unconscious, and access the forgotten spiritual codes residing in our ancestral memory. These codes are not complex. They are simple truths about the interconnected nature of the universe and our own divinity. However, The noise of daily worries and the weight of emotional trauma can obscure this capacity, creating a fog in our perception. This is why spiritual healing is so vital. By releasing the burdens of the past and integrating the inner shadow, we remove the layers of density that prevent us from vibrating in the frequency of clarity and reset. The archetypes of vigilance and readiness, present in the collective unconscious, guide us in this process. The focused archer, the attentive sage, the goddess of intuition. These Jungian symbols remind us that readiness is not tension but a state of full presence, with an open mind and heart. It is not about waiting for an external event, but recognizing the divine orchestration already in motion, to which we are invited to actively participate. The awakening of consciousness allows us to transcend the linear perception of time, understanding that the sudden moment is not a random leap, but the culmination of an internal process of alignment and preparation. Life does not conspire against us. It conspires in our favor when we align with the flow of its inherent benevolence. In this state of readiness, prayer transforms into a continuous breath of the being, an uninterrupted acknowledgement of the divine presence in every moment. It is not a prayer of pleading for a different future, but a vibration of gratitude for the unfolding present, a silent assent to the wisdom of the universe. It is an expanded state of consciousness that allows miracles to reveal themselves in the details, in the small synchronicities that punctuate a seemingly ordinary day. The sudden moment of God is the revelation that the universe is always speaking to us, always offering opportunities, always manifesting through us. Being ready means being present, with an open heart and a serene mind, to perceive the magic that resides in every instant, waiting only for a conscious gaze to materialize in our reality. The illusion that an extraordinary life lies only in grand, isolated events distances us from the fullness that manifests with every breath. The sudden moment of God is, in truth, the breaking of this illusion, the revelation that magic and miracles are intrinsically woven into the fabric of the everyday, awaiting only an attentive gaze and a receptive consciousness. Our energetic field is in constant dialogue with the collective unconscious, exchanging information and frequencies that shape our experience. When our vibration rises, and we align our thoughts and emotions with gratitude and trust, we open channels for the parallel realities of abundance and purpose to manifest in our physical plane. The invisible patterns of limiting beliefs, which keep us trapped in cycles of scarcity, are the greatest obstacles to perceiving these sudden moments. The ability to perceive and co-create these sudden moments is directly tied to the activation of the pineal gland. It acts as a subtle radar, capturing the synchronicities and signs the universe sends us. But for this gland to operate at its fullest, spiritual healing is vital, involving the dissolution of emotional traumas and the integration of the inner shadow. These stagnant energies block the flow of information and vitality, hindering the awakening of consciousness to the totality of our potential. The language of the unconscious speaks to us through dreams, intuitions, and sensations, and learning to decipher it is a crucial step in unveiling the forgotten spiritual codes that allow us to navigate life with mastery. It is a return to our ancestral memory as multidimensional beings, capable of consciously interacting with the flow of creation. The archetypes of wisdom and revelation, such as the seer or the enlightened one, emerge from the collective unconscious to guide us. These Jungian symbols invite us to cultivate presence, inner listening, and trust in the flow of life. Being ready for the sudden moment is not about being tense or anxious, but about being in a state of profound peace and alignment, an expanded consciousness that perceives the perfection of the divine order in every moment. Life is a continuous gift, and every instant is an opportunity for the miracle to manifest, not through Herculean effort but through a simple and profound attunement. In this context, prayer is not a request for intervention but a vibrational affirmation of gratitude and acceptance, a recognition that the divine force is already operating in and through us. The sudden moment of God is a reminder that divinity is not distant but intrinsically present in every fiber of our being and every particle of reality. It is the moment when inner preparation encompassing the cleansing of the energetic field, the healing of past wounds, and alignment with our essence meets, the permission for the extraordinary to manifest. There is no time to wait for an external sign. The sign is our own state of readiness. Neuroscience has shown that the brain can restructure itself and create new neural pathways in response to focused intention and visualization, proving that the mind is not merely a passive observer but an active participant in shaping reality. The miracle is not an interruption of the natural order, but the natural order revealing itself to a consciousness ready to perceive and receive it in its fullness, on the most ordinary and unexpected days. The belief that life's great moments are mere chance or random interventions is one of the greatest veils preventing us from accessing the code of the sudden moment. In truth, we are active co-creators in a vast energetic field that responds to our frequency. The collective unconscious holds the ancestral memory of a humanity that understood the language of creation and synchronicity as a divine orchestration. The sudden moment of God is the blossoming of this understanding, the point where our inner vibration perfectly aligns with the parallel realities, where our desires are already a manifested truth. This requires constant vigilance over the invisible patterns operating in our mind, often rooted in emotional traumas that keep us in cycles of scarcity and suffering. To be truly ready for these moments of revelation, it is imperative to purify the inner channel. The inner shadow, with its unhealed wounds and limiting beliefs, acts as a blockage, preventing the energy of the sudden moment from flowing freely into our experience. Spiritual healing is not just a concept, but an active process of liberation and integration, allowing us to transcend the burdens of the past and elevate our vibrational frequency. In this state of cleansing and alignment, the pineal gland operates at its maximum capacity, functioning as a portal to expanded consciousness that deciphers the language of the unconscious and reveals the forgotten spiritual codes that enable us to co-create with the universe. It is the point of connection between our individual self and cosmic intelligence, allowing manifestations to occur with fluidity and precision. The archetypes of receptivity and openness present in the Jungian symbols of our being guide us on this journey. The inner child, the open heart, the patient, sage. These archetypes invite us to release control, trust in the flow of life, and allow the divine to manifest in its own perfection. The awakening of consciousness is the key to moving beyond the linear perception of time and understanding that the sudden moment is not an event we await, but a state of being we cultivate. It is the realization that every moment, even the most ordinary, contains the seed of the extraordinary, waiting only for our permission and alignment to blossom. Neuroscience shows us that focused intention and visualization can literally restructure our brain circuits, creating new pathways for the manifestation of our reality. In this final context, prayer is the crowning of readiness. It is not a prayer of supplication for a future miracle, but a vibration of gratitude for the miracle already manifesting and for what is yet to come. It is a prayer of full acceptance, of unwavering trust in the divine plan unfolding through us. The sudden moment of God is the revelation that divinity is not distant, but intricately woven into every fiber of our being and every aspect of our reality. Being ready is, ultimately, living in a state of expanded consciousness, where joy, peace, and abundance manifest in the most ordinary days, through the synchronicities that only an aligned soul can perceive. It is an invitation for humanity to remember its innate power of co-creation, transforming routine into a stage for the sacred.